The 2024 season of F1, F2, F3, and now the F1 Academy can be up and down. Like, obviously, F1 we had a potential championship fight, F2 we did have a championship fight, but someone decided to ruin it. F3 was absolutely phenomenal, and F1 Academy was pure domination. So let's have a look at 20 moments for the 2024 F1, F2, F3, and the F1 Academy season. So let's first start with the F1 Academy, and first start off with a bit of a bonehead move, that being Durang Pin missing the checkered flag at Saudi Arabia. This would have been her second win in the category, and she would have been leading the championship if she didn't cross the finish line twice via the checkered flag. Yes, you could say that it was maybe her team's fault for not telling her, but at the same time, I think she could have easily saw on the screen, on her steering wheel. It was something. It was so bizarre. I never thought I would see that before. Like, if everyone else saw her, then clearly Pin should have seen it as well. Yeah, I've never thought I would see that in my life. But like, I have always literally seen it. I think only once in NASCAR where someone pulled off the track thinking that they won the race, but it was actually 2 laps to go. This one, she did another lap in race and speed, and she was wondering where everyone else was. So I never thought I would see that, but I mean, it happened, and Durang Pin, I'll be honest, kind of got fucked over. I think I only got a 10-second time penalty, I believe, for that. And I'll say this, I think that race might have cost her the championship. Next up is the only driver who was not part of the big 3 to win a race, that being Chloe Chambers, who won at Spain. Now, Chloe Chambers had a very good weekend in Spain. I'm pretty sure came second, only behind Abbi Pulling in the first race, and in the second race, she won by a country mile. So it was very impressive to see Chambers winning that race. She was obviously fighting for 4th place, because I'll be honest, like the top 3 was going to be Pulling, Pin, or Maya Vang. So with Chambers to win a race, I think that would definitely help her confidence. She will be staying in the F1 Academy now with Red Bull, I believe. So I think she was with Campos as well. So I think she'll be changing teams as well, I believe. But obviously I might be wrong. But Chambers winning in Spain, it was definitely a surprise. I was not expecting it because I thought it was just going to be the top 3 from what I saw in the first couple races. But it was good to have a new winner. Next up, it was a wild final race of the 2024 F1 Academy season. Yes, it was Maya Vang who won the race, but it was just pure craziness from behind, from bunch of drivers locking up, missing the chicane, Chloe Chambers spinning out as well from the lead. What else can I really say? Leah Block turning Hamza Al-Khabaizi, who was looking to get a hat trick in her, basically in her home country. It was a lot of craziness as well. Abbi Pulling being slow. I never thought we'd see that. Abbi Pulling being slow from how we saw her throughout this entire season, dominating every single race that she was a part in. It was quite surprising to see Pulling struggling. And Maya Vang running away. It was also cool as well to see Naria Marti as well on the podium for the final time for both her and Pulling, as both of them will be now out of the F1 Academy, as you only have pretty sure like only 2 years, I believe, in the category before you've been forced to piss off. So it was definitely a cool, I guess it looked like it was a good goodbye for Naria Marti, and as well for Abbi Pulling, who will be now part of the GB3 Championship alongside Bianca Bustamante. So it was cool, but it was a very wild final race. From whatever, I'm pretty sure it was a very tame season in the F1 Academy. So it was good to end it on a very wacky, wild race. And the final moment from this season is obviously Abbi Pulling first winning the championship, then losing it, then winning the championship. Something that I've never seen. Basically, she would have won at Qatar if they actually raced the second race at Qatar. But obviously, because of something happened in the Porsche Middle Eastern Championship, I believe, they didn't. So they had to cancel race 2 of Qatar, and they added a third race to Abu Dhabi, which meant that Durang Pin could have actually somehow won the championship, only like 1 point or something. Pulling just failed to score any points, which was highly unlikely, to be fair. But after she got the 3 pole positions, so it was literally 3 points. Yeah, she just won the championship. So it was definitely a weird way to win the championship, then lose it, then win the championship again. But I'm just happy that Pulling actually won the championship, because if she didn't, oh boy, F1 Twitter would be going crazy. Let's now move now to F3 and first up with Arvid Lindblad, who dominated at his home race, winning both races, I believe. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. I mean, this guy, he is really, really good. And it shows that Red Bull has a keen eye for talent. Like, yes, he's part of the Red Bull Academy team. Yes, he was with Prema Racing. But to be fair, I mean, to dominate your home race in your first year is very, very impressive. Not a lot of people can really do that in their rookie season in any category, I'll be honest. So with Lindblad doing that with so much pressure on him as well to perform, as he's kind of expecting him to be, because he's with Prema Racing, which are mainly a very, very good team. So with him to do that was very, very impressive. I think this was an amazing job by Arvid to win and to dominate as well at his home race at Silverstone. So I'm excited to see how he goes in F2. I'm a bit skeptical, as you know, we saw how Lino Fenaroli was at Abu Dhabi and he wasn't the best. So I think Lindblad might be in the same boat, maybe take some time to get used to the car, but I still think that his F3 campaign was very, very impressive. Next up, we had 7 drivers having the chance of the championship. And I'll be honest, that's not really a surprise. It's kind of normal in F3 to have multiple, I do mean multiple drivers having chances of win the championship. That being honestly Luke Browning, I'm trying to remember all of them, Arvid Lindblad, Lina Fenaroli, Dina Beganovic, Gabriela Mini, Christian Mansell, I can't remember who the other one is. I don't think it was Megatuna. Maybe it was Megatuna. I'm not too sure. But actually, I think that might have been it. Either way, Oliver Goethe would have also been in contention as well to win the championship, but obviously he was competing in F2 then, so that didn't happen. So it would have actually been 8. So 7 drivers is still very, very impressive, but I think it was only down theoretically to like 2 or 3 drivers that being Fenaroli, Mini, and Browning. I think all the others were a bit of a long shot, but it was still cool to have multiple drivers have a chance to win the championship. Next up, it was a dramatic feature race at Monza, and my god, it was. I mean, having like a couple drivers, he has been eliminated from the championship. I think it was only between like Mini, Fenaroli, and maybe a long shot was probably Browning. Maybe as well like Beganovic or something, but I can't remember on top of my head. It's been so long ago because they bloody ended in September, I believe. So it was definitely, there was a lot of points. There was a lot of like jostling for positions, like normal Monza was. A couple crashes as well, but that final corner on the final lap kind of changed it all. And that final pass on the final corner at Parabolic on the final lap helped Lina Fenaroli win the championship without a win. That has never happened. It's the first time it's happened in F3 history, and even as well, I guess you could say in the feeder series history, of when someone has not won at all in their career but was so consistent enough to win the championship. I mean, that is purely something, I'll be honest. So yes, a lot of people will be looking at this a bit sideways and a bit confused on how Fenaroli won the championship without a win. It was just because he was just really, really consistent. I think he got maybe like the most podiums out of anyone. I think he also finished every single race, I believe. So obviously he was going to win the championship if he was going to be consistent and not really make any mistakes. So I mean, yes, people are going to be confused and a bit questioning that, but I think it kind of makes sense. Like, yes, the championship should be decided if you like, yes, because if you're the best driver in that championship, I think Fenaroli was definitely up there as one of the best drivers in that championship. Like, you could definitely say Mini, but Mini, he was very, very inconsistent, especially in qualifying. You could even as well say Browning, but his team was a bit crappy. So with Fenaroli to do that was all with Triton, I think that's pretty cool. I think it's what I think that's also Triton's second Driver Championship trophy as well. They didn't win the constructors. Pretty sure that went to Prema. But front roll to win the championship, and now he's now with F2. I think now with Victor Racing. It's pretty cool for him. Speaking of F2, let's first start off with both AIX Racing drivers, Stanek and O'Sullivan's surprising victories. Where do we start? Well, Roman Stanek winning the feature race of Australia was not on my bucket list. I mean, Trident as a whole in F2 is crappy. I see them as like the Kick-Sauber or even the Williams of F2. They're not that good, I'll be honest. They've had a couple good moments, like Verstappen, I'm pretty sure grabbing a couple wins, which was cool. But Roman Stanek is someone who I was not expecting, I'll be honest. I mean, look, if you get kicked out mid season, you know that you're doing pretty shit. So with him to get kicked out mid season, it was pretty bad. Mansell pretty sure filled in and he was alright, but I didn't really expect much from him. Taylor Barnard winning at Monaco was also not on my bucket list. I really thought AIX Racing was going to be a bit crappy, and I thought they were, but I mean, throughout the season, they really picked it up. And Taylor Barnard, I mean, he capitalized over it. Yes, it was Monaco, but still a fantastic victory from him. Yes, he also left midway because he's now in Formula E with McLaren, so I guess that kind of makes sense there. O'Sullivan as well winning as well at Monaco the feature race. If we're talking about kind of just out of nowhere, this was a kind of out of nowhere. Like Barnard, yes, he was leading the entire race. I think Stanek, he was he was pretty competitive as well in that race, in the feature race. But O'Sullivan basically won this race because of strategy. That's all. I think he was down like a 7th or 8th or something before the pit stop cycle, and then he got out in front of Isaac Hadjar and won the race. I mean, even O'Sullivan was surprised. But Joshua Dirksen, yes, he got multiple wins, which is very, very impressive, and he will be coming back with AIX Racing. But don't you guys think it's a bit sus that one car wasn't that competitive with Barnard or even Niels Coolin, which is a bit of a joke, and even Kean Shields. Joshua Dirksen, he was like competing for wins and podiums and stuff, and it's a bit of OP engine that is a bit of an OP engine. But either way, I mean, I'm excited to see how Joshua Dirksen goes next year, including as well with Stanek and O'Sullivan. But we'll see how they go. In light-hearted news, there been Juan Manuel Carrera back on the podium at Spain. Everyone kind of remembers Juan Manuel Carrera due to their 2019 Spa incident where it took the life of Antoine Hubert. So with him to come back, obviously not only to F2, I'm pretty sure like last year I believe, but to get back on the podium was so heartwarming to see. I mean, like, because he's had a very difficult time in F2 dealing with the death of Hubert, who was obviously the part of that wreck and almost costed his life as well. So with him to come back like strong and resilience as well from him to be back on the podium, yes, I don't think he'll be coming back to F2. I'm gonna guess he might be competing maybe in sports car racing, maybe in the WEC. I'm not too sure, but I was very happy to see Carrera back on the podium. Gabby Borletto's last to first at Monza is very memorable. That's only a thing that you see on YouTube, where F1 YouTubers do the last to first challenge basically every time. But Borletto actually did it in real life. So I mean, which is why that he's a phenomenal driver and why that he's getting a seat in F1 now. Yes, mistake, but should be okay. I mean, he's still a very, very capable driver. I still think he's going to be really, really good. So I think that alone showed how much talent he has behind the wheel. And the final one is the F2 Championship battle going down to the wire onto the final race weekend between Bortoleto, Hadjar, and Paul Aaron. Yes, Paul Aaron was knocked out immediately from the sprint race, but the feature race, I mean, it was getting pretty close, maybe like 4.5 points. And then Isaac Hadjar stalled it, basically ending the championship fight just like that, and Gabby Borletto being your 2024 F2 champion. yes, this season of F2 wasn't that memorable. Like it was really hard for me to pick out like certain moments other than Bortoletto's last first at Monza and maybe a surprising victories. But other than that, I mean, I can't really think of anything else. Like maybe Antonelli doing really well, maybe Behrman struggling. But to be fair, Behrman was also doing a bit of F1 stuff as well on the side, so obviously he was a bit distracted there. So yes, it was definitely a good championship, but with only but going from a 0.5 of a gap between Hash and Bortoletto to then stalling in the feature race, kind of burns for Hadjar, but he'll be in F1, so I guess there's not really any hard feelings. Now moving to F1 first, up with the McLaren team orders at Hungary. Yeah, this was not a good sight. Yes, McLaren kind of fucked over Piastri, which is absolutely true. But I mean, they did fucked over his strategy, and I think Norris was like at the pit first, and Piastri pitted, and then there was a whole debacle of Norris not wanting to. I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure it was they didn't. I'm pretty sure Norris didn't want to pass. Well, didn't want to let Piastri pass. Well, Papaya rules, I guess. I don't know, some stupid thing. But either way, it kind of tamed a black eye into Piastri's first win. As, yes, like, it's not a good time or even a good way to get your first win if it's by team, if it's by team orders. But obviously, I guess it had to happen. And speaking of Piastri's first win, his teammate Norris also grabbed his first win. This was obviously predicted by yours truly, which was cool. But I'm just happy that at least both Piastri and Norris at least got, I guess, other wins to back up their first wins, because their first wins, I guess, were kind of handed to him by a silver platter. Like Piastri, especially at Hungary. Norris, you could definitely say that he was helped by the safety car at Miami, but at least they got multiple wins. Well, I mean, Piastri didn't get multiple wins. He got another one at Baku, but Norris was like one at Singapore. I was pretty sure one at Netherlands as well. So at least, like, you know, Norris actually has gotten a couple wins as well in his hands that he can say that are actually true wins. But I hope that these two can also can win a lot more coming into next year in 2025, because hell, that McLaren was pretty fast. More lighthearted news have been Lewis Hamilton returning to the top setup, not only once but twice in front of his hometown, well, in front of his home crowd at Silverstone, and at Belgium, yes, because of Russell getting disqualified. It was cool to see Hamilton back on the top step, especially at Silverstone. It's been a while, like it's been a bloody while. I think since 2021, I believe. I think that was the last time he stepped onto. He finished first. It's been a while. So with him to win, it was really cool to see. He'll be now moving to Ferrari, so I expect a lot of pain coming out from Team LH. But it was cool for him to get his final set of wins for Mercedes in a fitting tribute after what has been a phenomenal years of dominance from the duo. It was really cool to see that, and I wish him the very best as well at Ferrari. Alpine returning to the podium was something I was also not expecting at Brazil, our double podium even, when Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly got two phenomenal podiums at Brazil in a wet and wild race. I was literally behind Max Verstappen. Yes, strategy definitely helped, and a red flag as well, and a bunch of cars having skill issues. But to be fair, I mean, it shows of how good Ocon and Gasly are on the wets. I mean, if Gasly can win Brazil multiple times, and he even won as well, and not win, but he also got, I'm pretty sure it was Fiat, I believe, who was on top of as well at Hockenheim. I don't know what is with Gasly and Brazil, but apparently he loves Brazil. I mean, he got his first podium there, I believe, with Toro Rosso. So it was cool to see Alpine on the podium. At the same time, it kind of shifted of how we saw Alpine when, you know, they had to kick Ocon out for Jack doing at the Abu Dhabi race after, you know, Qatar and all that other stuff. So I guess it was cool to see Ocon grab his final podium with Alpine, but at the same time of how it all ended, it's a bit of a black eye. Next up, it was Verstappen and Norris butting heads throughout the season, especially at Austria, where they made contact and that basically ruined both their races. There was those lead times at Coda where There was some question marks over track limits and stuff. I'm pretty sure Norris got penalized for leaving the track and getting an advantage, while Norris didn't get it. While Verstappen didn't get a penalty for basically forcing someone off the track, and especially on Mexico, where Verstappen did some interesting defensive moves. I could tell that he went to the Joey Logano School of Defense. So with him to do this while Mexico was a bit of an interesting moment. I think he also got two 10-second time penalties or 2 5-second time penalties or something, which makes sense because obviously that was very, very dangerous. So yeah, I mean that's I guess it also shows as well that Verstappen will basically defend for his life if you are his championship rival. I mean, look at 2021 for example. So I'm quite excited for 2025 if the McLaren can continue their upwards upwards movement. While if Red Bull are going to struggle without Adrian Newey, that'll be a very good season to watch. Next up is Charles Leclerc finally, and I do mean finally, breaking through at Monaco. It's been a while. The Monaco curse has finally been lifted after like years of pain and pain and pain and more pain. Charles Leclerc finally won, or I should say finally wins at Monaco. It's been a while. It was really, really cool to see that. I mean, because I think everyone wanted Leclerc to win at Monaco. I'm glad he did, because like there was so much pain. He started on from pole, and last time he started on pole, I believe he didn't even start the race in 2021, or maybe it might have been a couple years ago as well. He didn't win the race on pole position. So for them to finally do that, it was really, really great to see. Next one, I thought this would be quite funny to add, but Kevin Magnussen again in race ban for first time since Roman Grosjean in 2012. I just thought it would be funny to add. I'll be honest, I just thought, why not? It would be quite funny. This obviously happened pretty sure after it was before. I think it was Kota, I believe. I think it was the race before Brazil. I never thought I would see Kevin Magnussen again in a race ban, but here we are. I mean, to be fair, the things that he was doing on the track was interesting to say the least, where he would just go wide on purpose, cut the corner, throwing these massive ass blocks last minute. I mean, it shows that Kevin Magnussen is very, very aggressive, and it's quite funny as well that both Magnussen and Grosjean were teammates as well at some point at Haas, which I find really, really, really funny. But I wish Kevin Magnussen the best of luck at BMW, as he will be with the team for both WEC and IMSA. But I hope he isn't aggressive like he was in F1. And the final one is Max Verstappen winning his 4th championship, just like Sebastian Vettel, 4 consecutive titles. Who saw that coming? Absolutely no one. To be fair, Norris did put up a good fight until he choked a couple times, especially at Brazil, which kind of basically put the nail in the coffin of on his championship hopes. But Verstappen winning his 4th championship was great. I think Red Bull probably going to struggle next year with that Adrian Newey, and having as well a new driver lineup as well with Liam Lawson. But Red Bull should still be okay. I think they might be still championship contenders potentially. But I don't think Verstappen is going to run away like he did this year. Like, yes, it was a bit of a championship fight. Maybe I think during like the middle point when Norris finally woke up, but I think this might be a bit more close. I think the Ferrari is going to catch up. I think as well the McLaren is going to catch up, and potentially as well Mercedes. So I think 2025 is going to be a very, very good year for F1. So that's really about it from me of the 20 moments from the 2024 F1, F2, F3 and the F1 Academy season. Obviously there was a lot more I could have mentioned as well, like Ben again getting his first starts in F1 for example, and Antonelli's as well doing well in F2, and a bunch of moments as well in F3 as well, and the F1 Academy, but I just can't fit them all in this video sadly. So now, like, guys, to like, a comment, subscribe will really help me, especially on this channel. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.